So NotebookLM is from Google, and it's a note-taking research assistant powered by Gemini. And I've been seeing it appear in my feed now and again. And I wanted to give it a little bit of a spin. And one of the things that caught my attention is someone had on LinkedIn, I think it was, they had essentially said, look, you don't need podcasting and all that nonsense. Google will do it for you. To which I thought, okay. And then the individual, I'll try and find it and link it somewhere, but the individual just said, yeah, try this. And it looked like NotebookLM had produced a podcast episode of the person's information. And I thought, no, how does that work? What? The quality of it was astonishing. It sounded like an American, high quality American podcast production. But I'd go so far to say NPR, as in National Public Radio quality, of a guy and a girl talking about a topic. And I wondered, can I duplicate that? So what I did is this week, my article on conversational AI in banking. I think it's what did I say? Conversational AI, the next banking interface. So I had that published this week. Thank you to the Nordic FinTech Magazine team with Chris Crespo running it. They published my article. And so I'm delighted to have been published by them. I'm a massive fan. And I thought, do you know what? I've got some distinct information. There's a couple of maybe 3-page article, and I took that and I dropped it into NotebookLM, and it didn't work because it was a Word document. I formatted it into PDF, dropped it in again. That was perfectly fine. Within a few seconds, NotebookLM has done it. Right, it's received the information. It's got a little summary, and it's ready for me to ask questions. Great. Top right, though, on this NotebookLM screen is an audio overview option. And what you can do is you press a button and then you wait a couple of minutes and it generates an audio overview of the information you've provided. It takes some license, right? And I can imagine it feels like I've gone to ChatGPT or Gemini in this case, and said, look, here's some information, make a radio show, make a podcast, make an audio overview of this data. So it's taken some dramatic license almost, but it covers the topic of my article rather effectively across six or something minutes. So this audio was generated in a couple of moments, and the quality is astonishing. It's very, very good. A number of times there's been a mispronouncement, but very, very, difficult to perceive. For example, the word banking, I think maybe they rushed it when it was being spoken. That came out like blinking, for example. But nothing. I mean, it's really, really good. It sounds like someone's taken my article and they've editorialized it and they've produced a piece for the radio or a very professional podcast, and they're talking about my article. They're discussing it, and now and again they're lifting quotes from it. And so the guy is he actually essentially used some of the words I've typed in the article. He speaks them as though they're his. The lady, it's a guy and a girl. She introduces the whole thing of conversational AI in a really, really smart way. I mean, I would almost say this has been produced, and if I would suggest it's been produced by someone who's not that close to the material, but good enough, and rushed it a little bit, if you see what I mean, right? So I would imagine if I went onto Fiverr right now and found a really, the second most expensive radio or podcast producer there. Okay, so good experienced individual, and I gave them $400 and said, right, and some voice talent. So create the script. That would take a little while. Then go and get the voice talent to record it. I'll then produce it nicely. So Google did that in a minute, or something. The quality is passable. The quality is really, really good. Would you like to hear it? So first off, I'll link the article. If you want to go and see it, it's at it's on Nordic FinTech Magazine, and it's maybe 2 pages, three pages in Word, and I think it's 10,000 characters or 12,000 characters or something. You can actually read that online, and I would encourage you to do so. I've linked it on conversationalainews.com. You can find the article there. But have a look at the article, and then listen now to the 6 or so minute overview, and tell me what you think, or just have a think. So it's not perfect, but it's deeply, deeply impressive. Here we go.
Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into the future of finance? We're talking AI, but not just any AI. This is conversational AI, and it's about to change the way we bank, invest, you name it.
Definitely. And it's no longer a sci-fi concept, right? We're talking real-world applications that are already making waves.
Exactly. So we're diving into this report, Conversational AI, the next banking interface, to break down exactly what's happening and what it means for all of us, whether we're running companies or just trying to manage our money. So remember those clunky old chatbots, the ones that seem to have a knack for misunderstanding every question you threw at them?
Oh, I remember those. Always felt like I was taking a crash course in frustration.
Right. Well, good news. Those days are long gone. This isn't about those basic chatbots anymore.
Yeah, it's like comparing a tricycle to a self-driving car, you know? The technology has advanced light years in a short amount of time.
Totally. And the report highlights this perfectly. Get this, some of these new AI-powered chatbots are handling like millions of customer conversations with over 90% accuracy.
It's incredible. And the key is they're not just spitting out pre-programmed answers. They're actually plugged into the core banking systems.
Right. I mean, think about that. It means they can pull up your account info, process transactions, even order you a new card, all while you're chatting with them. It's like, I had a taste of this myself recently with Santander. I needed a new debit card, and honestly, I just could not face going through their app again. So on a whim, I messaged their bot, Sanday, and let me tell you, it was shockingly easy. A couple questions, bam, new card on its way. Didn't even have to dig up my account number. It was mind-blowing.
And that's just scratching the surface. Think about the implications for call centers. AI handles those simpler tasks like resetting a password or checking a balance, which frees up human agents for the really complex issues.
Right, so instead of getting bogged down with the little thing.
Exactly. And it leads to faster service, happier customers, win-win all around.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's not limited to just typing anymore. We've got voice assistants now, and they've gotten seriously good at understanding us. It's crazy how fast it's all happening.
I know, right? Remember when you had to talk to them in a monotone robot voice just to get them to work?
Oh, tell me about it. But now imagine this. You call up your insurance company, but instead of being put on hold forever, a voice assistant picks up. And as you're explaining your situation, it's already pulling up your policy details in the background, ready to help. That's where we're at.
Exactly. It's like having your own personal assistant, but way more efficient.
Right. And here's another interesting tidbit from the report. VAs are proving surprisingly effective in debt collection.
That's an area you wouldn't necessarily expect, right?
Right. But it turns out people are often more comfortable talking about sensitive financial situations with an AI. There's this whole new layer of, I don't know, maybe less judgment. Makes you think.
It's fascinating, isn't it? And it really highlights the evolving relationship between humans and technology. It really makes you think about how we interact with technology, especially when it comes to something as personal as our finances, you know?
It's true. And, you know, one of the biggest takeaways for me from this whole report is how conversational AI isn't just about replacing human jobs.
Right.
It's about making those humans even better at what they do.
Absolutely. It's like giving everyone superpowers.
Exactly. Like, picture this. You've got a customer service agent on the phone with a client trying to untangle some crazy fraud alert situation. Yeah. Now, instead of putting that client on hold while they scramble for information...
Which, let's be honest, nobody enjoys.
No, not at all. But now they've got this AI assistant listening in, pulling up all the relevant data in a flash.
Exactly. Like, imagine you're that call center agent, right? A customer calls in super frustrated because they can't get into their online account. In the past, you'd be searching through manuals, putting them on hold, just a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. But now, AI's got your back. It's listening in, pulls up their account history instantly, might even flag a potential security issue before it even becomes a problem.
Yeah.
You go from playing catch up to being proactive, offering solutions instead of excuses. It's a game changer.
It totally is. And the best part is, this isn't just for those big shot banks either.
Yeah.
The article even mentioned this fintech company, Pluto.ai. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
They developed this investment buddy voice assistant.
Mm.
It was like having your own personal financial advisor right in your pocket.
And they were doing some really cool stuff too, like helping users analyze investment strategies, get those real-time market updates.
All through a simple chat.
Yeah.
And, it was legit because Robinhood snapped them up pretty quickly.
It's true. And that really goes to show you where the industry sees this technology going. This isn't a fad. It's the future of finance.
I mean, it really makes you realize we are living in the future, right? This isn't science fiction anymore.
Seriously.
It's happening now.
It's real.
And the pace of change, it's just mind-blowing. And for companies out there, especially in finance, like the article said,
Oh, yeah.
if you're not even looking into this technology,
You're behind.
you are already behind the curve.
Yeah.
You snooze, you lose, right?
100%.
But the good news is
Always good news.
you don't need to, go all in right away.
Right.
The article had a good point about, starting small.
Yeah.
Maybe a proof of concept, something like giving, I don't know, your call center instant access to your entire knowledge base through a VA.
I love that.
Simple, but think about how powerful that is.
So powerful.
Right. And that actually makes me think about something else the article mentioned.
Okay.
It talked about how important it is to educate customers on effectively using the AI interface, which, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also kind of got me thinking, as this technology keeps getting smarter and smarter, are we going to have to start adapting to it instead of the other way around?
It's a really interesting question.
Right.
Makes you think.
It really does. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the wild world of conversational AI in finance. I don't know about you, but I'm walking away with a lot to think about.
Me too. It's amazing stuff.
So to everyone listening, keep those questions coming, keep exploring this fascinating world, and hey, maybe we'll be back for another deep dive soon. Until then, stay curious.
Okay, so what did you think? It's pretty good, right? Pretty good. And goodness me, we're not far away. Based on that capability, we're not far away from being able to say, tell me about this, tell me about that. Almost custom level experiences. I wonder if almost I need to make conversational AI news available for agents in a very specific form so that your agent can take my content and then format it as best you like to hear it. I wonder if that's where we need to go. Anyway, really, really impressive. Nice work, Google. And this is perhaps something that we haven't, words that haven't really been said that much, because I think Google's come in for a lot of stick. Certainly from what we've seen from the likes of Claude and ChatGPT and so on. Gemini is, I think, up there in terms of how I'm seeing it. But I think we need to see more of these kind of really smart, really nicely presented innovations. Well done, Google, because it looks like they've rediscovered that what was it, the Fridays or the 20% thing. It's really cool. It's a nice work, Google. I look forward to seeing what's coming.